Thank you so much for watching WRIF TV. Now, this interview is obviously with video, but I don't interview everybody on Zoom. That's why I put it on my Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast. We talk to rock artists from all over the genre. So check out Talkin' Rock with Meltdown wherever you get your podcasts. And now to today's video interview.
And there he is, DJ. How you doing? Don Jamieson joins us. How's things, man?
I'm excited to be with you, and I'm on the show with Tobias. It's a great day today.
It's like this has been the peak of your career, right? It's all downhill from here.
Every time I see you, I feel like I'm peaking. My career is peaking once again.
Yeah, and you're a good liar, so good to see you, man. So you got Terrorizing Telemarketers 7 coming out. I have a lot of questions about this. You sent me one of the tracks, which was hysterical, the COVID mask. There it is right there. There we see it for people watching it. Terrorizing Telemarketers comes out on September 16th, this Friday, as I record this. So now, you've done this obviously a bunch of times before, and some of these questions you might have answered a bunch of times before, but do people call you and you just start screwing with them, or do you guys have like this phony number that you just know gets calls? How does this work?
No, it's just a phone number. It's a hard line in Jim Florentine's basement. And so,
wait there?
Yeah, we just wait up in the kitchen and, just try to come up with ideas. And, we work on our computers. And then when the phone rings, we both run down the basement steps and pick up the phone. And, whatever happens, because they're calling you, so you don't know what they're going to say. So we kind of come up with a rough idea, but then, we have to change on the fly. But I remember we were doing one of the calls on here and we're down there and we got a great call and we hung up. We're both giggling. We run up the stairs and Jim's 12-year-old son, Luke, was there with his buddy at the same age. And his son just looks at us, he goes, "You guys are so immature."
That's the key, right?
Yeah, I think we found our target audience.
There you go. No, the one you sent me, the COVID mask one, was hysterical. So how many tracks are on this one?
Let's see. There's 13 tracks. And we've done 6 of these already, believe it or not. I mean, this is the American dream, right? 2 middle-aged guys making prank calls for a living. It's not too bad, man.
And this goes way back, of course, with you guys. So how many of these, okay, you got, how many tracks you say there is?
13.
13. Okay, so how many 13 tracks? How many did you not use?
There's a couple that didn't make it, but because we had to leave room. We have most of the calls are around, say, 3 minutes, right?
Right.
That's about all telemarketers can handle with me and Jim. So, but the last track is called Fiance, and it's 18 minutes long. It's our Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. Because we put this guy in a situation where basically, like, he's talking to Jim and Jim goes, "Oh, wait, some food just came to the door." Jim goes to the door to answer it. I pick up the phone, to use it. And I go, "Oh, who's this?" And I go, "Oh man, I'm having trouble with my roommate." And, he goes, "Yeah, he's trying to get a mortgage with me for him and his girlfriend." And I go, "Yeah, I know he's going to marry this girl, but I haven't been able to tell him. A couple of weeks ago, I ended up having an affair with her." Then Jim gets back on the phone. Now all 3 of us are on the phone. And I asked the guy, "Could you please tell him for me? I didn't know how to tell him. He's one of my best friends." So we get this guy stuck in the middle of this love triangle, and he dissects us psychologically, the both of us. Like he should have gotten a diploma at the end of this call. It's the saddest, funniest thing we ever did.
So is it like one of those things, like obviously with the one you sent me, the telemarketer guy kind of had enough of you guys, but this guy, are you looking at Jim going, never gonna hang up?
Yeah, well, we're not hanging up if they don't hang up. Right. So, but yeah, this is fun. COVID mask. I just put my hand over my mouth, and of course, I'm the guy that has the important piece of information the telemarketer needs. And so, how much was the loan for? And he's telling me to take off the mask, and I'm like, and Jim's like, "No, he heard there's a variant you can get over the phone, so he's looking after your health." And
It was pretty funny. I was listening to it with my 19-year-old son in my car the other day, but he was half asleep. He didn't say how immature you guys were, but I don't know. He was just kind of doing his own thing. So that's cool. So how long did it take you to record all these drops? Like a couple weeks or a few months or what?
Yeah, it took a few months because you really do, man. It's like recording an album, in the studio, like as a band. But except we got to wait for these calls to come in. So I mean, most people are on the do not call list. We're on the please call list. We got a record to make. So, but yeah, we had a lot of fun with it, man. 13 tracks, and yeah, man, it's like I said, it's a living, bro.
Yeah, but no doubt. Terrorizing Telemarketers 7 comes out, like I said, on the 16th. This coming Friday as we record this. So what else you been doing with your life? I see you're at Monsters on the Mountain. You're doing all sorts of stuff. You have some cruises coming up. Is it next year already, or when are you doing that?
Yeah, it's April 2023. But the cool thing is the Monsters of Rock cruise does this great land event called Monsters on the Mountain down in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. So when we're not sailing at sea and partying like rock stars, we're partying like rock stars on the mountain. And, we were talking before we came on, about Joe Satriani down there. And what a good dude, man. He did a private show for people who bought his artwork because he's doing painting now. And he had his gallery down there. And they had him in this tiny little room. And behind him, they had all these blow up aliens, like blow up dolls, but in shape of aliens. And so I'm sitting there talking to Joe, and I'm looking behind him, and I was like, will you sign one of those aliens for me? And he's like, sure, no problem. So a couple of people took pictures, and I got a nice picture of the alien signing the alien for me.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Sometimes I find myself in those situations like that. I mean, we could go on and on about different things like that, but it's cool to have some of this stuff that you can kind of put aside for posterity, and just just to share an experience, because like they say, every picture tells a story. And me, I'm a picture guy. So I got a room full of pictures of rock stars, and every single picture you can ask me about, I could tell you a story about that picture. Now you got one with that alien.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll do like you, and I'll make that the picture on my Christmas card this year.
That's right. My Christmas card pictures. Yeah. I don't have one yet for this year. I gotta think about that. Now you got me thinking. All right, I'll have to worry about this later. I see you bought some records recently. The last one I'll tell you what, I've gotten 2 recently, and they're both brand new. I haven't gone crate hopping lately, but I did get the brand new Megadeth and the new Ozzy.
Yeah.
So what do you got?
Well, this is a reissue. I never had the original version of this, but this is the very first official Metal Blade Records release 40 years ago.
Was that the one with Metallica?
Yeah, that's with Metallica. Now on the original version, there's Metallica down over here. On the original version, they spelled Metallica wrong. It was Metallica, but they fixed it for the reissue. So it took 40 years, but they got Metallica's name right on the album finally. But this is a classic. There's Rats on here. Malice, Bitch, Steeler with Ron Keel.
Yeah.
So those are the very early roots. And whoa, what happened there? Why'd I get blurred?
For those listening, all of a sudden Don is like just a little blurry. I'm not sure what happened there.
I got a blur going here.
I don't know. I've had a couple cocktails. Oh, all right. We'll fix that in a second here. But yeah, he just showed the Metal Massacre album, which he just looked up. There you go. He looked good now.
Yeah.
Have you heard the new Megadeth record?
Just the songs that are out. I mean, they're ferocious. So, I'm excited to hear the whole thing. Is it good from top to bottom?
I'm going to tell you, man, I love it. I think it's great. It's maybe my favorite record of the entire year.
Yeah.
I think the Ozzy, I put a review out on the Ozzy today. I think the Ozzy record's decent. There's some songs I could kind of do without, things here and there. But, I mean, listen, when you got Zakk Wylde and Eric Clapton, Tony Iommi, Jeff Beck, I think it's really good. But like I said, there's a couple songs I'm like, I'm not sure about this one. But some of the stuff, obviously with Tony Iommi, thick, heavy, evil, the whole thing.
Yeah, no, you can't go wrong with those two. And it was cool to see them play again recently at that little concert they did over in England. And so, yeah, I mean, the last couple Ozzy albums, they've about 5 really good songs, and let's see if he tours, man. I mean, it looks like he's trying. So it looks like he's trying to get out there, get his stage legs back. Of course, Zach's still the berserker, always entertaining. He's a one-man show. So, and do you follow him on Twitter?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I follow him on all his socials. Yeah. He's very entertaining.
Like, yeah, because he's always posting, just goofy stuff and skits and things like. When I toured with him, for a month, I would wake up in my bunk to him screaming. And like, I woke up the tour manager, like, is Zach all right? Because he takes the back lounge. I was going to break down the door. He goes, nah, he's just back there making videos.
Yeah. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't follow Zach, for sure. So I'll tell you what, I didn't plan on bringing this up, but I'm going to put you on the spot. So what do you think of this Pantera thing? Because I'm kind of on the fence. I think I'll just tell you what I think right off the bat. I think a tribute to Pantera, a celebration of Pantera, anything like that would probably be a little bit better. But calling it Pantera, I don't know, man. I have something sacrilege about that.
Yeah, well, you and I feel the same way. It's the perfect two right guys. There's no two better guys to fill in to do this. And it's funny how just a couple little words above the logo make all the difference in the world. I'm still trying to figure out why, as a middle-aged man, I would care that much that it would say a celebration of, and then use the logo. I get it. People see the logo, they get excited. But look, I guess it's like any other band, man. Foreigners out there, 0 original members touring. So, if you got 2 of the 4, to some people, that's,
what though? I mean, I posted this on my socials and I get different responses like that, right? And it's like, yeah, well, if Foreigner can do it or if so-and-so can do it. But here's the thing. And I mean, I'm kind of stating the obvious. Dimebag died, 15, 17 years ago, whatever it was. Vinny's gone. It's like, those are the 2 keys, in the cog, as far as I'm concerned, that made that machine work. And now all of a sudden they're gone and they never showed any inkling to put Pantera back together. Now all of a sudden it's back together. It just seems weird.
It does seem weird. And like I said, they're the perfect 2 guys. Zach and Charlie are great dudes. They'll obviously play the stuff, properly, and it'll be exciting. But yeah, I hope there's some last minute pardon from the governor where they still know you got to put, a celebration of.
Right. What was the last concert you went and saw?
Well, that Monsters on the Mountain, I saw like 30 bands, but just as far as, going to a show, was a Rob Zombie here in Jersey.
That was when Peter Criss showed up. I saw your picture. That's awesome.
Yeah, Peter and John Five are good friends. It was John's 52nd birthday, I think. So they had a little party for him backstage outside under this little tent. And, I went, and Jim and Peter was there. And man, Peter looks great. He said he's going to put out new music. So that's cool. And I saw Mr. and Mrs. Zombie, and we talked, and I'm excited for the Munsters movie, one of my favorite shows growing up. So we'll see what Rob does with that. But dude, I've been seeing White Zombie since the late 80s. I mean, I used to see White Zombie in New York City at this tiny club called the Lismar Lounge, opening for a band called Circus of Power. And then next thing you know, it becomes this whole thing. Rob Zombie leaves. He's gotten huge. I've seen every version of Rob Zombie in a band. And I got to say, man, this is the best I've ever seen him. I mean, his voice sounded great. He was on fire. Peter Criss came out and sang Happy Birthday to John. He has all, the monsters and everything are killer, man. It was just one of those nights, man, where just everything, it was a great summer night. Everybody was having a good time. So, yeah, Rob Zombie's still doing it, man.
He kills it live in concert. There's no question about it. You just talked about the Monsters. Are you a horror movie fan?
I am a bit of one, but I like the old school stuff. I like Vincent Price and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember going to see Trick or Treat in the movie theaters with my buddies. Remember that classic?
Yeah, with a song by Fastway.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But I went and saw the movie Barbarian last night, which is, I didn't really even ever hear about it, but it takes place in an Airbnb right here in Detroit. I didn't even know that till I started watching it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's the new modern thing. You know, they don't have haunted houses anymore. Now they're haunted Airbnbs.
Yeah. I've just gone down in a horror movie crazy. I've kind of been waiting for the weather to turn, and now it is. So now it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch all these horror movies, you know?
Where the teenagers like taking selfies with the killer on, for wait, before he slices my throat, let's put this on TikTok.
Yeah, right. TikTok, yeah. Don't get me started on that kind of stuff. Hey, you got any cool interviews coming up?
Oh man, for that Jamieson show, yeah. I guess this is airing on what, the 17th?
This right now? No, this is going to air today.
Today. So tomorrow on that
A quick
Jamieson
turnaround. This is February. No, this is September 12th. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, on my show tomorrow, I'm going to have, speaking of bands that have new albums out that are really good, I got John Campbell, bass player for Lamb of God, and Jerry Gaskill, drummer for King's X, who
Yeah, they just dropped their record on what's his name's birthday there, Doug's birthday.
Yeah, 72 years young. My God, the guy is ageless. Not an ounce of fat on the guy. His voice sounds phenomenal. Jerry even sings 3 songs on this album. So both good dudes to talk to. Both really funny guys. In fact, I'm going to talk with John about that because Jim and I met the guys from Lamb of God like way before that metal show. When we do the phone pranks, obviously, but we also did a bunch of DVDs called Meet the Creeps, where we did hidden camera pranks on people. And we were friends with the band Shadows Fall, and it was Shadows Fall, Lamb of God, and Slipknot all out on tour. This is like the early 2000s. Nobody in the metal world knew us at all, and Shadows Fall brought us around and introduced us to all the guys in Lamb of God. We just pretend we were normal fans. And we just kept asking for more and more ridiculous things for them to autograph for us, So be like, could you just write like something like, hey, Don, thanks for the reach around, And I'm like, what? They're like, come on, we drove away from Connecticut. You could at least write what we ask. And it got increasingly more and more absurd, all the things that we were asking them for. And finally, at the end, Mark Morton, like, basically makes a fist and he's like right about to punch me. Because they said, don't ask to shake his hand. He's a germ freak. So me and Jim kept putting our hands out for him to shake. That's how we met those guys. So they ended up being good sports about it. And we've been friends with them ever since. So
I had that happen with Sale from Impractical Jokers. And this was pre-pandemic. I guess he doesn't like to shake hands either.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Either does, what's his name there? Carl Palmer. That's another long story I could tell you sometime. But yeah, Sale, he just does this thing,
All right, next time I see him, I'm going to force handshakes on him.
You see those guys a lot being over there in that part of the country?
I see Quinn once in a while. Quinn's a big metalhead.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So I saw him. I saw him at the LA Guns Faster Pussycat show over the summer. So I see him at shows, and I just did a convention in Atlanta with Murr, who was a
you
super
did a
cool
convention.
guy.
Like, what do you mean?
It was those. Well, speaking of horror, it's one of those horror conventions, and they do a comedy show there, and they call it the Dead Comedy Jam.
Okay.
And it was me and Jimmy J.J. Walker.
Dynamite.
Well, yeah, which he won't say.
Oh, really?
No, he will not. He will not say in his act. So, of course, I said it like 50 times when I went up there. Because here's the thing. Like, in my mind, first of all, when I got the email, hey, do you want to come down and do a show with Jimmy J.J. Walker? My first thought was like, who canceled? Because it's such a weird combination. Like, here's this prank calling heavy metal comic and, this old sitcom legend. He's 74 now. But, that's another show that I loved growing up. So I said, yeah, I'll come down and do it. That'll be great. But I'm figuring I'm just going to open for him. So I put together a nice, friendly opening set because I'm thinking, he probably does very clean stuff and everything. About an hour before the show, he comes down and he's like, hey, listen, man, I'm 74. I'm pretty tired. Do you mind if I just go up and do mine first? And then I'll give you a nice intro and then you could do your thing. So now I got to follow Jimmy Walker, and the people who go to these conventions, they're all into that nostalgia stuff. So right. I go, this is going to be horrible. But the good thing was I was signing in a rock room before, and Corey Taylor and Phil Anselmo were in the room with me. So a whole bunch of metal people were there at the end of the night, and they all came to the show, including Anselmo, who sat right in the front. and I tortured him so bad that he walked out like 3/4 of the way
Really?
through. Yeah. But it ended up being such a fun night, man. And Jimmy was great, man. He gave me like a minute introduction. This guy's, I love working with this guy. This guy, I never met the guy in my life. And he gave me this great intro. He's going to rock your world. And it ended up being really fun. But yeah, but Murr was down there from Impractical Jokers. Those guys are killing it, man. So, you know, instead of tuning into Impractical Jokers, go out and buy this and help.
That's right.
Help a couple of New Jersey boys get a cup of coffee.
I think that doesn't Jimmy Walker say dynamite in that commercial he has for, I don't know, reverse mortgage or whatever the hell does he say it? He's got to say it, right? You got to get paid for that.
He said, right. Yeah. I think there's a number that you could give him that he'll say dynamite.
Right. Exactly. Or sign it or whatever the case is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
but he was funny. He did a whole bit about that. He goes, "Don't you hate these celebrities on TV trying to sell you reverse mortgages and gold?" And because to tell you the truth, I'm sick of myself at this point. So,
hey, you got to make a living, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. He was a good guy, man. I had a lot of fun with him.
Final thing here for you. I just thought about this as I'm talking to you. Is there any bites to bring back that metal show to anything? I mean, now with streaming and stuff, I thought that maybe, just saying like a Netflix or something, anything like that. Is there anything like that?
It's well, I got a good mug out of that was in my contract. I had to have a.
But that show ended. How long ago did that show end?
2016.
Okay, so and since then, I mean, that's 6 years. Since then, there's been a lot of stuff that you guys could put a show like that on.
I know you would think so, man, but I don't know. We've had offers and stuff over the years. It just wasn't, things that weren't the right fit. And obviously we're affordable, so that's not the issue. And we're still all friends. I mean, we still all hang out together. So it's not like we got to have 3 separate dressing rooms and 3 buses until we get to the place. And I got to ask as many questions as Eddie and Jim or any of that. We'll snap right back into it if and when it happens. Hopefully, man, now's a good time because with Stranger Things making metal big again and making it cool, and bands like Greta Van Fleet out there, we're bringing girls into the shows again, which is great because Jim just saw Greta open for Metallica. He's like, it's unbelievable how many girls were going crazy for those guys. So
yeah, he saw the show in Buffalo, I think, right? Because I saw the show in Pittsburgh a few days later.
No, he saw it in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, I was there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, now would be a good time, man. But yeah, we'll see if anybody out there owns a television station or a streaming platform. Get my number from Meltdown.
That's right. All right, DJ. Well, listen, man, thanks so much for the time. Terrorizing Telemarketers 7 drops this coming Friday, the 16th, as we record this. And like I said, if you're listening to this, you can watch this interview because you can't get enough of Don Jamieson or myself. And we appreciate it. Good luck with everything, brother.
Thanks, as always, man. I appreciate it, dude.